Hey guys, and welcome back to Mojo Homestead. I just wanted to do an update on the apple scrap vinegar. Now I said that I would do one and I've been a little bit slack about doing it, but we did go through the whole process and it turned out wonderful. There's a couple of things I did do that the recipe did not call for that I would definitely suggest doing. It is just based on my personal preference, so you could definitely do it however. But this is the batch of it. We've just been putting it in our pantry. So it's been sitting in there. It's good, it's sealed up. So it's not really doing much more in the way of fermenting. We did have another smaller jar that went straight into the refrigerator and we've been using that. So I wanted to show you guys kind of just what it looked like if you're curious. So as you can see, it is not clear, but it's not quite like some other vinegar. It does have kind of this cloudy look is how I would call it. So the taste, I don't know if I can describe it perfectly, but it definitely has a little bit more of a raw vinegar taste than like your store-bought apple cider vinegar. Again, this is not apple cider vinegar because it's not made from apple cider. This is apple scrap vinegar. I would say it's really good though. It's kind of a milder vinegar and we even let it sit for a good week longer than the suggested. Now I will link at the end of this video the original one, but essentially what it is 2 weeks with the apples in it, strain that out, 2 more weeks minimum without the apples. So I did taste it after I strained out the apples and it was not what I expected. Not really what I would call like a full body type vinegar. It also seemed a little bit flat. So the one thing that I did add, I added a little bit more sugar to it at that point, just to try to get some more, I guess, notes in there, more flavor in there. And so we let it sit. Well, what the directions did say was that flavor is really gonna develop in those last 2 weeks. But I still was a little bit skeptical just because of how bland it was when I strained it out. And I was thinking, okay, I just took out all the apples. How much more flavor can be added to this? There was a lot. It was amazing. I actually tried a little sip and I was like, oh, it's really good, and got more. Now, it's not something that I would just sit there and drink by any means, but definitely took a couple of sips of it because it was that good. It was so good, in fact, that we are working on our second batch. So these guys are sitting, we started this the 6th of this month. And so it's got another week. This weekend, we'll strain this one out and then let it sit over Christmas. It's really good vinegar. I'm still would say like its primary purpose is probably gonna be more like salad dressings and stuff like that. However, I did use it in cooking and it was really good. It added a really good kind of subtle depth to the chicken. We cooked a whole chicken and put a little bit in there just for the moisture, and it did add some flavor. So again, this is super easy. You make it from apple scraps. So essentially almost completely free resource there because you're eating the apples already. So you could count that as your expense in the apples. So what you would throw away is actually what you're using. One important note before I close this video out, and I did, if I remember correctly, make this point in the other one, but the acidity level on this is not as high as a lot of other vinegars. So the only thing that this thing would really just be absolutely not suited for would be canning. You cannot use this vinegar to can with because it doesn't have a high enough acidity. So that being said, everything else about it, I really loved it. So good. So thank you guys for joining me in this quick midweek video. I hope you guys are having a great Christmas season and be blessed.